So this is a really good question. You know, what do I do when that hard to catch horse is the lead horse or the lead mare? Um, Generally in that situation, when somebody asks me, how do I fix something when it's the lead mare out in a herd when it comes to a hard to catch horse? And my question right back is, how come you're not the leader? How come it is that mare that is delegating all those horses what to do? To me, when you have horses, you have a relationship with your horses. And when I tell people I am the leader in that relationship, a lot of people misinterpret when I say leader, you know, that I'm the boss, and, you know, they think it's just this, I got to be dominant to the horses thing. But in reality, my relationship when there's a leader is I'm the one that delegates those horses when I come into the pen what to do. You know, Reba here, she's the lead mare out here. When I'm not around, she delegates these horses when they're going to go eat, when they're going to go drink, when they go out to the bigger pasture, when they, you know, she delegates what these horses do. If a horse is eating in a pile that she wants to eat at, she walks up and every other horse leaves. And I've been blessed with Reba because she's not, I call her a lead mare, she's not a boss mare. I mean, she'll share her bin of grain with the colt. She doesn't matter, you know, she doesn't mind sharing her feed pile. But when she tells a horse to move, they respect it and they move out of her way. If the colt gets to messing around and messing with her in such a way that she doesn't appreciate it, she's going to let him know. She doesn't start fights, but she sure does end them. Just like on the Aristocats, you know, the little kitten on there saying, a lady doesn't start fights, but she'll finish them. That is Reba. She doesn't start. She's been a great lead mare, and that she is a good example of what I mean to people when I say I am the leader to my horses. I don't come out here and go, you know, whipping on them and saying I am the boss, I am the leader, starting fights, causing problems, and making these horses be scared of me. But, you know, when I walk into the pen and walk, I want these horses to pay attention to what I'm doing, because what they're going to do is going to be based off of what I do. So when it comes in that term of how do I get this because of the lead, it's the lead mare, become that lead mare, become that leader. Because when you become that leader, you can delegate these horses. I made more of a contained area today for you guys, so don't mind my rope fence. But just to prevent these horses, it's a lot easier for my camera to track when it's a smaller area versus two little small pastures. So if I were to come out here, catch these horses, you know, Reba's the lead mare right there. She's back there. If she decides to move out of the way, I can control her with my body language, like I was saying in yesterday's video. You know, get him out of the way, get her out of the way. Reba's waiting to see if I'm coming to catch her. Cricket's kind of establishing some avoidant behavior right now, but see right there, Reba was going to turn. See how I just moved my weight over here and she stopped and looked at me, because I am the leader when I'm out here. I am delegating what she's going to do. So I start working on getting it to where, you know, I've given her my body language that I'm going to come up and catch her. So she doesn't move. My body language, yeah, spooky. My body language has told her, stay. I am the leader. Stay there. I'm coming to you. So if I were to walk away and establish different body language with her, say I was looking, you know, past her and I want her to move. She's waiting for me to check in and she sees there, my body language did not tell her to move. Told her to move. My body language told her, get out of my way, because I am the boss. Whereas the first try was, stay there. I am the leader, even though she's the lead mare. Right here, my body language told her to stop. She is going to go trotting with these other two horses. Let's see here, get her moving around. Let's get these horses kind of moving around a little bit. My body language is telling her, move away from me. And get her back into frame here so I could show you here. And then right here, stop. She is the lead mare, and I just pointed her out and said, hey, me, I'm the leader. I said, stop. And look what she did. She stopped. And look, I'm going to be able to walk up to her. Even though she's snorting at me, walk right up to her. It's little things like this that you could start establishing that leader mentality. When I tell you guys that going out into the pasture and working with your horses and using your body language to delegate what they do, it's what I'm meaning. You know, I have the halter right now because, you know, I do plan on catching a horse, but they don't know which one it is. And generally when you come out with a halter, horses tend to be less invited to come right up to you. Even the easy to catch ones, they're a little more hopeful that you're not going for them. So you can use your body language too. Like Cricket here, she's kind of using avoidant behavior. So I'm going to use my body language and delegate what she does. When she checks in on me, she's still kind of avoidant. She kind of turned at me and checking on me. There we go. That's all I wanted. That's how the things that you teach this horse to become that you're their leader. Phil here, let's do Phil. She's going to be a difficult one. As I said in yesterday's video, she's been taught bad habits. Of course, now she's probably going to let me walk right up to her. Since she's being, see right here, avoidant behavior. See how I'm using my body to delegate where she was going. She was going to turn and go that way, so I used my body and said, no, I'm the leader, stop. I just walk up and pet her. You know, things like that, delegating where your horses go with your body. And at first, you know, my horses, we've had a lot of practice with this. We've had a lot of practice with when I point you out with my body language, when I look at you and say you stop and let me approach you. Cricket's really good about coming out of the herd and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't care if they come out of the herd to me, as long as they stand right when I said, hey, they stop and look. You know, that's where it starts. Here, this colt, he'll be a good example because he's still wary of people. I'm going to delegate where he goes. He checked in on me. I'm going to walk away. This is how it starts. This is what you need to do with that lead mare out there. If she's the one that's instigating stuff, if she's the one that's hard to catch, this is what you need to do with them. We'll work on this colt. Cricket's really good about getting out of the way too when she knows it's not her. So this colt, we're going to kind of, Reba isn't quite sure if I'm talking to her with my body language or if I'm talking to the colt. So I'm going to put some pressure on Reba's hip, get her moving so he gets moving. And I'm not going to get these horses riled up right here. Right there, he checked in on me, so I'm going to walk off. But that, you know, you see him stop and just kind of, even though he was kind of already turning around, but he made a deliberate point to give me his attention, walk away. Let's see here, try this colt again. I'm going to make him go this way, away from the horses. Kind of push him, let him know, hey, I want you to go this way. I want you to go this way. And sometimes, you know, you don't want them to stop and check in with you if they don't move off of you. Teaching them to move off of your body when you want them to move, establishing that leader mentality is all you need to do. So I'm just kind of pushing him around. And I don't want him to get super worked up, so if he goes to run past me, I'll kind of make a little bit of an effort to push Reba out of the way here. Come on. There we go. And he's going to stick on her. And you can see here, I'm using my body language to control Reba. Cricket's right in the way. I can use my body language to control Reba, get her moving, to maybe get that colt off of her. Get him separated. Check in on me. There we go. That's all I want. And once you start getting your horses really good, like Reba, where you can go, no, stop, move, stop. You can use that lead mare to your advantage. Just like I used Reba there. Yes, Cricket, you want to be the star student every time when it comes to this demonstration. Yeah. And so I can use Reba. I want her to go that way to separate her off. Stop, because now he's stuck on her. And use my body language to control Reba as I put pressure on him, trying to get him to move. And see right here, he's stuck, so now I'm gonna... Now she's just she's a little bit confused, so we're just gonna back her up here. And then we're gonna ask her to go forward. We can use her as an example. There he goes checking on me, so I'm gonna leave him alone right there. That was good. And then pretty soon, just doing stuff like that when you come out to feed, you don't have to do it for 30, 40, 50, 2 hours every day. But just coming out and going, check in on me. Okay, that's all I want. Get out of my way. Hey, check in on me. All right, good, go. Hey, check in on me. Okay, good, we're go. There you go. That's how you create easy to catch horses. You go out there, my horses know the difference between getting out of my space and stopping and checking in. And then pretty soon when you got a horse that's hard to catch, what you can do is keep that check in on me. Train those horses that when you go, hey, check in on me, they stop and give you their attention. And it's easy to do in a smaller area like this to start out with. It's really easy to do when you're feeding. But if I were to come out here too, when I tell people you're always training your horses, if I were to come out here and you go, okay, I'm going to catch Reba today, and then Cricket shows me that she's avoiding me, just pretend she's avoiding me and I didn't push her, all right, no, I'm not catching you, but check in on me. And then you just walk up and go, see, we're fine. And then go and catch your horse. You don't even have to walk up and pet on him. If you just go, I'm going to go and catch, say Cricket's really good moving off of me. She goes to trot off and I go, wait, no. See that? The horse, you just use your body language and you turn and look at that horse and that horse goes, oh crap, check in, I forgot. When you're out feeding, you go out to catch another horse. You come out to the pen. I'm coming out here to fix a T-post over here. And all of these horses, let's say all of these horses just go off this way. I'm going to wait a minute, and say it was avoidant and not, they moved out of the way because I pushed them. But say, I'm coming over here to fix something in the pen. You got a horse that's running off because they don't want to be caught. I'm going to go, hey, Cricket's actually running off now, so we're going to use her as the example. Check in on me. And here, you probably can't see it because the focus on me. But see this? Checking in on me. Not every horse is going to run up to you, but if I were to just, come over here, these horses were to start moving this way, and I were to go, checked in on me. That's all I want. That's all I want. There we go. Check in on me. That's how you create easy to catch horses. And then pretty soon when you got a horse that is going to be avoidant, we can use Phil as an example here. You could see she's showing avoidant behavior. She's going to go and hide behind the other horses. The colt, he's showing avoidant behavior. He is always, if you haven't noticed, he's always behind Reba or Cricket. Phil, she's avoiding me. So once you got to the point, she's been good about when I ask her to check in on me, she checks in on me. So right here, I'm asking her to move out. This is avoidant behavior. She doesn't want to be caught. So one thing that I like to do, check in on me. She's avoiding me. She's going off that way. She's putting her butt towards me. She's not paying attention to me. She's looking for a way out. There, she's checking in on me. So when it gets to this point where I'm getting them to where I can get them to check in on me, I'll walk to them and get them to check in on me again. When you get that horse to where they're really good about check in on me and they look at you, this is when you start using that to your advantage with your body language for a hard to catch horse. You come out here and say if she were to start walking this way, I go, check in. And she'd turn and check in because she knows that she has to stop and look at me. She went to turn this way, check in. She'd stop. See, she's standing there and she's checking in on me when I ask her to. She's turning her head. You know, by my body language, doing this and doing this, you could see she's still kind of checking in on me from time to time because my body language is telling her to. And that's how you get a horse easy to catch. And then pretty soon you're getting them to where you're here and that horse is still trying to go back and forth, trying to get away, and you're just stopping them. Check, 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 stop, look at me. When they stop and look at you, good, bye. That's all I wanted. I wanted to get within 5 feet of you and you look at me. That's all I wanted. Right here, avoidant behavior. So I'm saying, hey, check in on me. She's still avoidant. She's turning away. There we go. She checked in on me. That's all I wanted. Cricket. Check in on me. She was going to run off and be avoidant right there, but she checked in on me because I said, stop, look at me. You know, and so when you get a horse that starts being hard to catch, you work your way closer to them to your here. Check in on me. And right here is when they start doing back and forth, trying to look for that escape. And you go, stop, check in on me. Stop, check in on me. Stop, check. Okay. And then pretty soon you're here. And then pretty soon you got your horse. You know, you don't have to run these horses around. Cricket might be a really good example of what I mean by this. Let's get her out here. So, hey, don't run from me. Hey, say she went that way. Stop. Check in on me. Say she's going back and forth. That's all I want. Okay, bye. And then pretty soon you're not getting that until you're here. You're getting that avoidant. Check in on me. There you go. That's all I wanted. Bye. You know, and then pretty soon you're coming up and she's being avoidant. Check in on me. See, she's checking in on me. And then you go, okay, that's all I wanted. Bye. You know, and then so on and so forth. And you build up. Hey, right here, avoidant behavior. She's confused on what I'm trying to, she's like, I'm checking in on you. I don't know what you're asking me. I'm just going to leave. Check in on me. And then pretty soon you're just going to be able to walk up and catch that horse with no issues at all. It's coming out and working with your horses. When you come out to fix the fence, come out, kick rocks, whatever. Just, you know, if your horses know to move, they're going to know the difference between move out of my way and stop. My body language completely changed right there. It went from get out of my way to check in on me. There you go. That's all I wanted. And that's all it takes. It's simply all that it takes to get your horses easy to catch. It's turned Phil from being dangerous and running people over. And with her, I had to get pretty aggressive with her because you would have to get her in a corner and you had to have a flag or something to really get the point across. You cannot, because she would run you over. She has, and my husband and I was the only person, and my husband were the only people allowed to catch her because she would plow over the top of you to be avoidant. And so we would get in there with a flag and force her to stop because she was going back and forth, rearing, spinning around, trying to run you over. And when she just stopped, and that's all I wanted. All of that wasted energy in this corner for you to just, what? Okay, that's all I wanted. And now she's still one of the most difficult ones besides the colt in here to catch because she still has some of those behaviors. But 2 weeks of just coming out here every time I feed and she's avoidant, or if I come out to catch Cricket or Reba and she's avoidant, just going, stop and check in on me with my body language. And when I say, you know, these horses, when I'm asking them to stop and check in on me, I'm using my hands and my voice and I'm physically asking, check in on me. And I'll show you the difference here. Move out of my way. This time I'm just going to say it. And then with my body language, you'll see when I'm asking these horses to, actually what I'll do to get it a little more, because Reba's just kind of stuck here. Get her moving a little bit first, so that way you guys know she's been messed around with and I keep asking her to stop. So now she's like, just stay here. So now just get her feet moved up a little bit. I'll show you the difference. Get her back in this corner here. Move out of my way. Move out of my way. You know, I'll show you what I mean. The difference in my body language. Cricket, I haven't even changed my body language. You're just trying for try's sake. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Still not working. Move out of the corner. She's stuck in this corner. Try a different way. There we go. We'll get her going down this fence. So right here, they're going to probably take off down this fence line. And I'll show you what I mean. You know, my body's saying, get out of the way, get out of the way. I got three horses right here checking on me. Phil, the one who's learned, we're going to get her to, hello. There we go, that's all I wanted. Get out of the way. There we go, that's all I wanted. And now she'll stand there, even though I just chased her around this pen. And Reba's kind of a hotter horse. She'll stand there and let me walk right up to her. You know, my body language of get out of my way to stop. It's deliberate, you know. Generally, when I'm wanting my horses to stop, very clear, you know, when I want them to get out of my way, kind of just ignore their existence and walk like as if they're not there. You know, just if that horse wasn't even there. But when I want that horse to stop and check in on me, it's, you know, stop and look. I look up at him and I make eye contact. And I can pick a horse out in the herd, get them all up against the fence here. Let's get all these kids up against the fence and show you guys. Cricket, get on the fence over there. And I can pick a horse out. No, I'm not picking you out right now. Go into the herd. I can pick a horse out with my body language and tell one horse to stop and the others to completely move by my body language, by how I make contact with them. Go back over there. I know you're trying really hard, but go. Go. We're doing something here. So, try to get Reba turned around here. Get her focused. There we go. I just kind of want to get her turned so she could see me here. And I'll show you guys what I mean. How I can get, with my body language, get one horse, all the other horses to move out of the way. And the rest of them, Cricket, she just really wants to join up. She's trying so hard. But get the others to leave and get one to stay by my body language. So come in here. I'm going to pick out Phil because she's going to be the most difficult. See Reba here. I'm ignoring Reba as if she wasn't there. And I'm focusing. I'm not trying to get Reba to move forward, but I'm trying to get Phil to move forward. And then come in here and catch Phil. You know, Reba was a little bit confused there. But she stood still. When I asked her to move back, she kind of backed up a little bit so Phil could get forward. And you can see now that I got my horse, she's like, oh, you don't need me. And she's just kind of like, whatever, sticking in this corner. But you can cause other horses to move away and have one horse stay. See, now I'm going to pick Reba. Move these other two out of the way. And I picked Reba. And my body language, because my eyes weren't on Phil, Cricket, or the colt, they all left. I'm going to reward Phil right here, though, because, like I said, she's been so hard to catch. And she's come a long ways from being dangerous. So I want to reward Phil anytime she does actually make an effort and do, even though I wasn't asking her there, I was rewarding her and telling her she was a good girl. But, you know, I could tell certain horses, you know, the change of my body language, telling Cricket to move to right here. She's like, wait, are we moving? Oh, we're checking in. You know, I can tell her to move with my body, get out of my space, or I could tell her, check in with my body. Just simply by my presence and the way I go about doing it. I could tell her, get out of my way, check in. And sometimes, like right there, she was facing away, so I clucked at her, get her attention. And then she turned and saw my body language and said, oh, come and check in. Move out of my space. Then I'm just gonna, hey, check in. Move out of my space. Check in. She's really confused. We're kind of doing something we've never done before. And she's turned away right now. She's thinking. So I moved there, get her attention, check in. Move out of my space. Check in. Good girl. I'm going to pet her here because I kind of pushed her away a couple of times to let her know everything's all right. She's not in trouble. Move out of my space. I want you to go that way. Move out of my space. Check in. Move out of my space. Check in. She always seems to want to kind of turn away before she checks in. It's like she has to think about it for a second, and that's okay because she's still coming and checking in. And see here, ooh, I'm not asking her to move out of my space. Kind of making eye contact with her. The way I approach her is a little bit softer than, you know, like I was saying, it's the eye contact. So I walk at her. See if we can get her to stand still for a second. I'm making eye contact with her. I'm walking at her. Stand still. All right. I'm looking at the ground. I'm walking at her. I clucked at her to kind of get the point across, but you could see there as I was walking at her, she leaned away. Check in. And there she goes doing her little spin before she checks in. But that's okay because I know she's going to check in. Now, if she were to spin and run off, I'd check in. But you could see when I'm not looking at her, not making eye contact with her, you could see how tense she is and looking away. She's not quite sure what I'm asking her yet. We're not that refined yet with catching of move off and stay. Whereas right here, let her look at me and she sees I'm making eye contact with her and I'm looking right at her. See how she's not leaning away? Versus if I were to walk back and look kind of at her feet, she's already picking it up. I'm not telling her to stay. I look at her, I'm looking right at her. She knows I'm looking at her. She stays. I look at the ground. She moves. And I did cluck there, but you could see her body movement. She was ready to move if I took another step. But I want her to learn to respect my space when I'm not asking her to be in my space. I don't want to run into her before she moves, but just making eye contact with her, you can see she stays put. You can refine your horses being caught on the ground, difficult catch the horses, and you can turn something that is hard into easy. Doesn't matter what horse it is, because if you are the leader, you'll be able to make anything happen. If you're not the leader and you let another horse delegate everything that's going on in the pen, you got to get that leadership of that herd.